Pay attention to the woman in the black hoodie. Her name is Destiny Williams. She is on her way to a job interview. Shabelles will help her save enough money for cosmetology school. Now, pay attention to the man with his arm resting on her shoulder. His name is Marcus Patterson. He is the one wapisted the fake job advertisementally. Within 30 minutes, her phone will be turned off forever. This wasn't an interview. It was an abduction. At 8 p.m. on September 18th, 2 hours after Destiny Williams was due home, her grandmother made the first of many calls to her granddaughter's phone. Each call went directly to voicemail. The worry that had been simmering for hours turned into a formal report to the Chicago Police Department just before midnight. The dispatcher logged the details. An 18-year-old female, no history offering away, last seen heading to a job interview in the suburbs. To the police, the initial facts fit a familiar pattern. For someone her age, the case was initially handled as a potential loanaway. But the official classifications, in stark contrast to the person Destiny Williams was. Raised in the South Side in Englewood, she was the steady hand in a fractured family. While her mother battled addiction and her father served a sentence at Stead of Black Correctional Center, Destiny lived and cared for her grandmother. She was known as responsible and quiet. A recent high school graduate who worked part-time at Walmart, her focus was singular. Savino, money for tuition at Pivot Point Academy to study cosmetology. Her Instagram page wasn't for socializing. It was a portfolio of hair and makeup tutorials, testament to her ambition. Her family and friends knew she would not just leave. While police processed the paperwork, Destiny's best friend, Janae, began her own search. Posting Destiny's picture across social media on messaging anyone who might have seen her, her grandmother insisted to their responding officers that Destiny was no to runaway. She was a planner, a dreamer who was on the cusp of building the life she wanted. She had an interview with a company called Elevate Marketing Solutions. She had an address. She had Anna. But investigators were about to discover that the first clue in the casa was the first piece of a calculated lie. The man who called himself Mark was a phantom built from digital illusions. The job posting Destiny Williams found in late August on Indeed.com was his masterpiece of deception. Titled Personal Assistant and Social Media Manager, the listing for Elevate Marketing Solutions used professional promised a competitive wage of $22 per hour and listed a legitimate-looking Chicago office address. It was designed to attract ambitious young people just like Destiny. When she applied, including a link to her Instagram to showcase her skills, Mark's response was swift and professional. Their correspondence, later recovered from Destiny's email account, showed a series of normal interactions. Mark conducted a preliminary interview over phone, asking standard questions about her experience and goals. He spoke convincingly about the company's clients and growth. He built a foundation of trust brick by digital brick. When it was time for an in-person interview, he had a ready-made excuse for thelication. Their main office was undergoing renovations, so they would meet at a satellite office in a Calumet City executive suite building. He sent there the address and arranged to pick her up from a nearby gas station, explaining that the office entrance was tricky to find. It was only after her disappearance that investigators began playing at the threads of this story. They found that Elevate Marketing Solutions had no business registration, no employees, and no clients. The professional website her friend found was a digital ghost created just a few months prior. The executive suite building on Torrance Avenue had no record of the company ever being a tenant. The entire operation was a carefully constructed trap. Police would soon discover that Destiny was not the first woman Mark had tried to lure with his scheme. But she was the first one Woe hadn't walked away. On the afternoon of September 18th, Destiny Williams followed the instructions Marcus Patterson had given her. She took the CTA Red Line south to the 95th Street station and then transferred to a Bushiding toward Calumet City. Her final destination was the Shell gas station parking lot Patterson had designated as their meeting point. At approximately 2:47 p.m., the station's security cameras captured Patterson's black Nissan Altima pulling in. A few moments later, the footage showed him and Destiny walking together across the asphalt. It was the last time any camera would record her. Her grandmother expected her home by 6 p.m. By 8 p.m., after unanswered Eichels went straight to voicemail, a deep sense of dread had set in. She contacted the Chicago Police Department and filed a missing persons report. The department, however, initially classified the case based on the victim's age and the lack of any immediate signs of foul play. Destiny Williams, 18, was officially considered a runaway. This procedural decision, while standard, created a critique called the investigation did not begin with the urgency of an abduction. Meanwhile, Destiny's digital footprint had come to an abrupt end. Cell phone records would later show that her phone was powered off or disabled at 3:15 p.m., just 28 minutes after she was seen on camera with Patterson. In that short window of time, in or near that parking lot, she had vanished completely. While her family pleaded with authorities to investigate the job interview as a potential lead, the official case file sat in a queue waiting for evidence to prove that Destiny hadn't just walked away on her own. The official runaway theory collapsed under the weight of digital evidence unearthed, not by Paulus, but by Destiny's best friend, Jana. Frantically searching for clues, she accessed Destiny's email and Instagram accounts and found the entire history of her communication with Mark. She immediately turned over the login information to detectives. This provocative investigation, with its first tangible leads, is the company name, the email address, and the phone number the suspect used. Investigators quickly confirmed what Jana and Destiny's grandmath already suspected. The Chekhov state business records showed Elevate Marketing Solutions did not exist. The website associated with the company had been created only a few months, allowing a service that masked the owner's identity. When police traced the phony number Mark had used, it came back as a prepared burner phone activated short LeBaire he first contacted. Destiny and disconnected shortly after Herdy Saparits. It was a digital dead end designed to be untraceable. The real breakthrough came from the email address. While the account itself was anonymous, the IP address, the unique identifier for a computer's location, was not. Cybercrime analysts traced the origin of Mark's emails to a public library in Gary, Indiana. This shifted the geographic scope of the investigation across state lines. Detectives obtained security footage from the library, and on it they saw Amon matching the description from Thega's station video using the public computers on multiple dates. They now had a clearer image of their suspect, but still no name. The discovery also revealed a chilling pattern. Investigators found similar fake job postings in Indianapolis and Milwaukee, all linked to the same methods. They were no longer searching for one missing girl. They were hunting a serial predator, while the digital trail pointed investigators toward Indiana. The mass critical clue came from the physical world, the gas station parking lot in Calumet City. Detectives meticulously lived hours of security footage from every available angle. Searching for vehicle the suspect had used, they found it a well-maintained black Nissan Altima. Although the man had parked out of the primary camera's direct view, another angle captured his license plate as he entered the lot. A query through the National Motor Vehicle Database provided the name they had been searching for. The car was registered to Marcus Patterson of Atlanta, Georgia. The name initially meant nothing to investigators in Chicago. A background check revealed a man with no criminal history. He was 34 years old, employed in warehouse management, married and the father of 2 young daughters. On paper, he was an ordinary suburban family man, completely disconnected from the dark underworld of abduction and human trafficking. He was the last person anyone would suspect. When the FBI and Atlanta Police Department attacked Patterson's wife, the facade of his double life began to crumble. She was completely stunned. She confirmed her husband was currently away from home, traveling in the Midwest for what she believed were legitimate work contracts and logistics. His trips had become more frequent over the past 9 months. She explained, but she had no reason to suspect anything was wrong. He was, in her eyes, a loving husband and father. With her statement, the investigation now had a clear target. The digital ghost from the Gary librarian, the man on the gas station footage, had a name, family, and a home address. The hunt was no longer for Asheville. It was for Marcus Patterson. By nearly November, the investigation culminated in the quiet suburbs of Stone Mountain, Georgia. Federal agents and local police arrested Marcus Patterson at his family home without incident. The man taken into custody seemed a world away from the predator they had been hunting. He was a suburban father whose neighbors knew him only as a quiet family man. Investigators had expected to find evidence of a trafficking ping. Instead, during his interrogation, Patterson offered a confession that twisted the entire narrative of the case. He did not Denise's role in Destiny Williams' disappearance. However, he claimed he was not a willing participant, but a coerced pawn in a much larger criminal organization. Patterson explained that years prior, a severe gambling addiction had left him with an $85,000 debt to Eamon, named Del Cruz, a formidable figure operated between Chicago and Detroit. When Patterson couldn't pay, Cruz offered him an alternative. Theodet would be forgiven if he agreed to recruit young women for Cruz' trafficking operation. His job was to create the fake profiles, gain their trust, and deliver them to a designated location. Patterson insisted to detectives that he had tried to back out, but Cruz had made it clear that failure to cooperate would result in the murder of his wife and 2 young daughters. He claimed he had only delivered Destiny because his own family's lives were under direct threat to prove his story. And in a desperate bid for leniency, he gave investigators one piece of information they needed: dead toe, blow the case wide open. The address of an abandoned steel mill off Broadway Avenue in Gary, Indiana. He told them it was the central hub for Cruz's interior operation. Acting on the information provided by Marcus Patterson, joint task force of FBI agents in the Garipolis Department organized a raid. The target was the abandoned steel mill off Broadway Avenue, a sprawling, decaying structure that was a relic of the city's industrial past. In late November, tactical teams converged on the location. They breached the building and found a fully operational human trafficking hub hidden within the thrusting shell of the factory. The conditions were grim, designed to hold people against their will. Inside, law enforcement found and rescued 7 young women. They were between the ages of 18 and 23 from various cities: Acros, Midwest, by similar false promises. The discovery was a major victory for the task force, confirming Patterson's confession about Del Cruz's criminal enterprise and letting tow, the immediate rescue of multiple victims. The rescued women were taken to a secure facility to receive medical care and begin interviews with victims' specialists. But for the investigators fest on the case that started it all, the raid ended in failure. As they accounted for each of the rescued women, the grim reality became clear. Destiny Williams was not among them. The news was a devastating blow to her family, extinguishing the last flicker of hope that she might be found alive. The raid odds successfully dismantled the dangerous trafficking ring, but it had also turned a missing person case into operable homicide investigation. The question was no longer if Destiny had been taken, but what had happened to her after Marcus Patterson drove her away from that parking lot. With Destiny Williams still missing, the full pressure of the federal investigation churned on the men apprehended in the Gary warehouse raid. Patterson's Sconefist had given them the trafficking ring, but he did not know Destiny's final fate. Investigators bane the systematic interrogation of Del Cruz and his lieutenants, leveraging the threat of life sentence to break their code of silence. Under the intense pressure, one of Cruz's senior associates finally confessed. History erased any hope that Destiny might have escaped. He admitted that the plan had gone wrong from the very beginning. When Destiny got into Marcus Patterson's car in the Calumet City parking lot, she quickly realized that the situation wasn't what it seemed. She fought back with the very thing she had. In the violent struggle that took place inside the vehicle, Destiny was critically injured. The associate explained that a panicked Patterson, never intending for things to turn violent, immediately called Cruz for instructions. Cruz, displaying a cooling lack of concern, simply dispatched another member of his crew. Tough location to handle the problem. Destiny Williams was killed in an unearthed parking lot on the afternoon of September 18th. The confession provided the horrifying how and why of her disappearance, confirming she had been murdered within minutes of being abducted. But it left one final critical question unanswered, both for Thai investigators and her grieving family. Where was her body? Guided by detailed confession from Donnell Cruz's associate, authorities launched a searching early December. The search area was a desolate stretch of woodland off Interstate 94, just across the state line, between New Buffalo and Bridgman, Michigan. It was there nearly 3 months after she vanished from the gas station parking lot that investigators found the body of Destiny Williams. The cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma and strangulation. The violent struggle, described by the informant, she had been left there since the day of her abduction. The case that began with a missing person report concluded with a complete dismantling of a multi-state trafficking ring. Marcus Patterson, the Moan who presented himself as a corporo teperficient, was charged with kidnapping resulting in death and conspiracy. His cooperation saved him from a potential death penalty, but he was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. Donnell Cruz, the ringleader who preyed on Patterson's desperation, was arrested in Detroit and also received a life sentence. For other men connected to the operation were convicted on various federal charges, effectively shuttering the entire criminal enterprise. Pay attention to the woman in the black hoodie. Her name is Destiny Williams. She is on her way to a job interview.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So here we have an update on the David situation. As according to Donna's Live News and other news outlets, they say David transferred his Texas homes to his mom's name on the same day that Celeste Rivas was identified. And I believe this was found out by in public records. And typically, I've heard of certain people doing this in efforts to not lose their assets when being sued or divorced. They'll typically transfer their assets to their mother's names. You know, it's a pretty simple strategy as to not lose everything attached to your personal identity. Some people will actually transfer their assets to an LLC plus S Corp to have that technically under a business that can't be sued for personal liabilities. But that's some other game that I don't want to spit in this video. But the next best course of action is to, transfer to your mom's name, assuming you can trust your mother. We all know that most of our moms love us, but there are some moms out there that you simply cannot trust. Shout out to our moms, though. We love you. However, as according to TMZ, they say David is making some real estate moves as cops investigated the death of a 14-year-old Celeste Rivas whose composing corpse was found in his Tesla. After that, though, had transferred 2 of his Texas homes to his mother. And I believe he is from Texas. But after he blew up, he moved to LA. The California dream that most aspiring artists have. They say, though, according to new legal documents obtained by TMZ, the singer transferred the deeds to 2 Houston area residencies he owns under a trust to his mother. And by the way, here in this footage, as you can see from TMZ, you can see that cops were actually pulling up to his mom's and father's place of residence in Texas because somebody swatted their house. Listen, Edo not again support the extremism in certain cases like this. Swatting, threatening people, trying to kill them, it's just too far form. Even if you don't like them, or you believe that they're a danger to society, swatting their family members or friends who are associated with them but did not do the crime is crazy. It really is.
She was a planner. A dreamer was on the cusp of building the life. She had an interview with a company called Elevate Marketing Solutions.
This address came up to this
she
number?
had an address. She had Anna. But investigators were about
Yeah, that's actually crazy, man. Obviously the mom is in her robe. I think the dad here is just highly confused as to what the hell is going on. And guys, just don't do this. It's like reprehensible behavior. It's highly immoral, illegal, and you can actually go to prison for this. Just please don't swat people. That's weird. However, they say David made the changes on September 18th and September 22nd for the second property, and the 18th was the same day cops were called to one of his homes for a swatting incident. The caller, who was apparently using a device to mask their voice, falsely reported a shooting and a dead female victim. It looks like his parents and his siblings are already living in one of the homes. When cops showed up for the swatting call, his parents answered the door and told police David's younger brother and sister were upstairs. As reported, LAPD executed a search warrant at the LA rental home where David was living on September 17th. And here below there is some police body cam audio that we're going to play for you guys right now.
Built a foundation of trust brick by digital brick. When it was time for an in-person interview, he had a ready-made excuse for his location. Their main office was undergoing renovations.
So, in that audio we just heard the mother, you could hear her. I believe this is when she was swatted. They pulled up to her house, but they kind of clarified the audio. She said both her daughter and her son was upstairs. Thieson being the younger brother of David, we've seen him plenty of times in the past videos I've made. And the daughter, I don't think you guys have seen her. You don't need to see her. She's like a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. But she did pop out on stage with David, so maybe I can't play the clip because he literally brought her out on stage. So it wouldn't be like too weird. So as you can see here, his sister right here, you know, obviously she's a little kid. You know, this guy got famous. He apparently, based off of what I heard, he got a $3 million advance as well. After a particular song from a label he got signed with. And, you know, when he's at particular venues or concerts that he's, you know, performing for, he brings out his little sister or his brother along, even if they're not on stage. You know, kudos to him for, you know, not leaving his family behind, despite all his character flaws and him literally being a potentially pedophile murderer. This is all alleged, by the way. Obviously, I can't make any definitive statements as he's not had his court case yet. So, me saying anything definitively can possibly get me sued. So this is all alleged. This is all speculative. Of course, I'm not labeling him anything definitively. This is in a very opinionated video based off of all the things we've seen previously. Please don't sue me. Somebody on Twitter said, David probably in an underground bunker moving like Saddam Hussein because LAPD too busy licking each other's. It does rhyme with raises. We got my guy Mini Clint here who said, imagine that David Ward was innocent this whole time, lol. I don't know about that. Mini Clint. After all this overwhelming evidence, I would be shocked. What are we going to blame it on? AI Sora 2 ChatGPT. And by the way, in case you guys didn't hear the update, Celeste was laid to rest about 4 days ago. According to TMZ, Celeste Rivas's casket was carried in by loved ones. As you can see on screen right now, her family members are here, you know, at some type of graveyard, and it appears to be kind of small, which is okay. But honestly, it is kind of weird how this guy literally has not been arrested considering all the evidence we've seen so far. And if it were anybody else, right, I promise you they would have been in custody by now, in jail, at least waiting for their trial to begin. So, genuinely speaking, when people bring up these conspiracy theories about Illuminati, or, you know, David kissed the nanny goat, or David has got connections, or David this, David that, I completely understand, because I've never seen this a celebrity or anybody, for that matter, literally having a body found in their car and not being in some type of holding facility at this point after all the overwhelming evidence. I promise you, if I were in the same exact situation, I would be cooked. I would have already been probably like 6 feet under the ground by some crazy maniac who wanted to take me out. But literally, either I would be dead or I would be in a holding facility, you know, just waiting for Mitrial to begin. So it's crazy. It truly is. And for a little more details, they say Celeste Rivas's family and friends gathered Monday at Queen of Heaven Cemetery and Mortuary as they carried the slain 14-year-old's casquetto, her final resting spot. A hearse pulled up to the Roland Heights, California cemetery next to a large tent. The funeral service will finally give her family and friends a chance to say goodbye after a case that's rattled LA and left more questions than answers. And by the way, I just want to say, given the level of decomposition and how hot it was in that California heat, and apparently she may have been in that trunk for like at least 4 weeks, what the hell did her body look like? And did they have like an open casket, a closed casket? I can imagine it was closed because I'm not sure what would have been left of her body given the description of dismemberment. Her body was so decomposed that her limbs started to be pulled away from each other. I'm just saying, this is disgusting the more I try to visualize this in my head. And I fully understand why people just don't understand why this guy isn't in jail by now. Ladies and gentlemen though, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. This was just a quick update video since I just saw this, you know, woke up today, saw this, thought I'd talk about it for the people who wanted to hear about this. Be sure to follow me on Instagram, MoriHQ, links are in the description. If you want to send me any more video topics or stories to talk about or cover, be sure to follow the second channel, Mori Live. Links are in the description. Also, Spotify, Apple Music links are in the description as well. That said, if anything else comes about, I'll be sure to report on it and talk about it. Take a look at the details and see what's up. But with that said, hope you guys enjoyed, found this informative or interesting. And until next time, catch you in the next one. Peace.